Pro wrestling and WWE in particular have always utilized celebrities to connect to a wider audience. Shows such as WrestleMania were initially built on celebrity involvement and truly managed to get the WWE product seen through many new eyes. Throughout the years, wrestling companies such as WWE have used celebrity involvement in a number of ways to mix results. For instance, the inclusion of Muhammad Ali and Mr. T at WrestleMania 1 was a huge success, and so was the involvement of Iron Mike Tyson for WrestleMania 14 in 1998. Most of the problems with celebrities and wrestlers usually seem to occur when the celebrity in question doesn't seem to have a strong level of respect for the craft of wrestling. This usually means that one or more pro wrestlers will take great offense and there will be severe bad blood between the two parties. So with that being said, let's take a look at 10 wrestlers who had legitimate beef with another celebrity. Number 10, Bully Ray and Sal. Sal from the Impractical Jokers show shared a humorous yet frightening story during a live Art of Wrestling podcast in 2019. The story involves Sal almost getting beat up by Bully Ray. For some context,
and for some reason I thought it would be funny, I have no idea why to this day, to yell out, "Hey, Bubba Ray Dudley, you fat fuck." So, remind you, this is the heyday of ECW, and he was across the parking lot a few hundred feet, right? And I was in line with a few hundred people, so I was like, he's not gonna know it's me. So I said it, and then my friend Jeff was like, "Sal, he's charging over here right now," and he picked up a chain and ripped a chain out of a stanchion. The chain popped out of the stanchion. I was like, this is just not good. He charged right up to me, and my friend's like, he's coming right now. I don't know what else to say. I hope you wish you the best. And I turned around, and he took my Yankee hat off me, and he goes, "What'd you just say?" And I was like, I just turned into like Rain Man. I was like, I'm just a big fan, just a big fan. I didn't say anything, just a big, and he took my Yankee hat, and he just started slapping me in the face with it. That hurts, though, just so you know. Like, if someone slaps you with all they can with your cap, it hurts. And he was getting whipped in the face, and I didn't want to look up. I thought if I looked up and looked him in the eyes, he could take my head off with one swoop of his hand. So I just kept looking down, going, just a big fan, just a big fan. And he goes, "You said it while I was over there. Now's your chance to say it in my face. Go ahead, you put."
Luckily, that was the end of the encounter, and Sal left the exchange with all of his teeth intact. It appeared as if both men had patched things up, as Bully himself would actually appear on the Impractical Jokers show in season 6, and the incident years prior would be the main reason for his involvement in the show. Number 9, Lacey Evans and Cardi B. It's rather common when any mainstream celebrity who decides to name drop WWE for WWE and their wrestlers themselves to try to capitalize on the exposure. This was the case when Tori Wilson referenced Cardi B on an episode of Raw in January 2021. This led to Cardi B tweeting out, "This is not how my WWE debut was supposed to be." That led to Lacey Evans trying to build up an angle for herself by tweeting to Cardi that she should be careful what she wished for and that she'll send her home with more than a busted eye. Cardi clearly didn't realize that Lacey was trying to work an angle, so Cardi then replied with a tweet that was quickly deleted that stated, "A white woman can't never put fear on me, sweetie." This led to one final response from Lacey, who tried to get Cardi to show up to WWE to basically fight her. However, that was the last time Cardi would respond, and the social media feud quickly came to a halt. Number 8, Soulja Boy and Randy Orton. If there's one surefire way to upset a wrestler, it's definitely calling wrestling fake. Therefore, when Soulja Boy decided to brand WWE as fake on social media, WWE legend Randy Orton was not going to let that slide. Orton would respond by stating, "Fake? Dare this practice setup. He don't like movies? Consider us actors that do stunts without pads 200 days a year and don't bend when we get surgically repaired and come right back. Consider us 100 times tougher than anyone you've come across." The two men would go back and forth, with Soulja Boy even challenging the former WWE champion to a fight, which Orton responded with by praising Bad Bunny and his attitude towards wrestling since becoming a member of the roster. The exchange would continue over the next few days, with numerous wrestlers and rappers such as Bow Wow throwing their opinions on the matter in. It's unlikely anything will surface from the heated interaction, as Soulja Boy isn't really the most popular name in the world in 2021. Despite this, it's always interesting to see how WWE wrestlers react when a celebrity diminishes their livelihood. Number 7, Goldberg and Macaulay Culkin. One of the most bizarre issues between celebrity and wrestler was the beef between Goldberg and Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin, which came about in early 2020. The issue between the two men began when he tweeted "Amen" in reply to a tweet directed at Goldberg, who had just defeated The Fiend for the Universal title. The tweet had a sarcastic undertone, and it related to WWE failing to make new stars, referencing Goldberg pinning The Fiend, as well as The Undertaker defeating AJ Styles on the same show. Culkin would then tweet out in a following tweet that he had canceled his plans to attend WrestleMania that year due to WWE's booking. Goldberg would eventually respond to Culkin and refer to him as a dork, which Culkin decided to respond by saying, "Just don't try to tombstone me," referencing to Goldberg's horrendous match with The Undertaker months prior. It was funny and completely random. Number 6, Mia Khalifa and Hurricane. Ex-porn star Mia Khalifa caused a lot of controversy online in 2017 when she stated this in relation to Ronda Rousey jumping ships to WWE.
This is where her career will go to die. Absolutely not. I have no respect for the WWE. I don't think it's a real sport. So I think that's where her career will go to die.
Well,
that's embarrassing.
Twice,
you go from
twice.
real fights to wearing a sequin unitard and pretending to fight?
Yeah.
This comment infuriated WWE producer Hurricane Shane Helms, who tweeted that, "I'm not gonna get upset that a porn star didn't respect pro wrestling. She's entitled to her opinion. Our bodies take a pounding, and well, so does hers." Khalifa never responded to Helms, but it's rather likely that she'll never come for WWE again after being completely owned in such a drastic manner. Number 5, Jerry Lawler and Jim Carrey. When filming the 1999 movie Man on the Moon, there was apparently a real-life conflict between Jim Carrey and wrestling legend Jerry Lawler. Speaking to Stone Cold on the Broken Skull Sessions, Lawler stated,
"Certainly, I had a great time. I enjoyed it. The only exception was the fact that it was tough working with Jim Carrey, because for some reason, one reason or other, Jim Carrey was so, I don't know if it's method acting or whatever, but he was so wanted to be so in character." And so apparently, one day I asked Milos Forman, I said, has he even read the script? Does he not know that Andy and I were really friends? Because he treated me throughout the movie like Andy and I acted always on television,
right,
like we were bitter enemies, you know.
Right.
I mean, he threw eggs at me at one time. He threw a bottle of juice that busted at my feet at me one time,
which forced Lawler to speak to the director to question what the issue between him and Carrey was. The director stated that Carrey was simply method acting, but Lawler always believed there was something deeper there. There was a deeper issue, and there was legitimate beef between these two men. Number 4, Eric Bischoff and DJ Marshmallow. Remember Eric Bischoff's brief time overseeing SmackDown when the show launched on Fox in 2019? Well, over the past year or so, Bischoff has revealed details in relation to his second stint in WWE, and he even revealed one particular celebrity who was apparently a nightmare to work with. Speaking on his 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff had this to say about DJ Marshmallow, who appeared on the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox.
I have worked with celebrities who barely deserve to call themselves celebrities. I mean, they kind of sort of are, but in their minds, they really are, and they're a pain in the ass. They can be a pain in the ass. Anytime I find out that I'm working with a musician, for example, that's a celebrity, my skin starts to crawl. I break out in a sweat. I start twitching. I feel what might be minor seizures starting to tremble. I hate it because they're the worst. DJ Marshmallow.
Yep.
Remember all the things I said at the top of the show about working with celebrities, particular musical celebrities?
This is the one that gave you heartburn?
All I'm going to say is sometimes there are perfect examples. This is just so f***ed up. So f***ed up. And what a gimmick this DJ Marshmallow has. It's just a I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Why not?
I've got nothing against, because there's some things. No, I'm not scared of shit. It's not being afraid of anything. It's at some point, out of respect for the people that I have respect for that are still in WWE, and to a degree myself, because I could give away something here, people, by telling the truth. It is.
It was never made clear what the issue was with Marshmallow and Bischoff and why Marshmallow was so hard to deal with. Marshmallow failed to respond to Bischoff, so it would be on Marshmallow's part for himself to reveal what the nature of the beef between these two men actually was. Number 3, Conor McGregor and the WWE. Prior to UFC 202, Conor McGregor was asked by an interviewer if he had any interest in jumping ship to WWE. McGregor had extremely negative things to say about WWE.
I don't know what to say to Ric Flair. This ain't no gimmick. This is the real shit. I've got to get in and fight a man for real, with no script, with no nothing. I mean, Vinnie Mac's a f***ing legend. I mean, they wrote Vinnie off a few years ago when he dropped from the billions, and then he rose back up, and now he's back in the billionaire club. And what he's been able to do with that bunch of dweebs he has over there at the moment has been phenomenal, and I respect him for that. I'm just speaking the truth. That new age of those guys are absolute dweebs, and they just seem messed up in the head. I don't know what it is when I listen to them talk, and when I listen to them carry themselves. They just don't seem right in the head. So that might have been a bit ruthless of me to say, but again, it ain't trash talk, it's true talk.
And would even state that Brock Lesnar was juiced to his eyeballs. McGregor would then tweet out, "I didn't mean no disrespect to the WWE fans. What I meant to say was that I'd slap the head off your entire roster and twice on Sundays." That did not sit well with WWE wrestlers, and some of the responses towards McGregor were absolutely brutal. Biggie would tweet, "Would you prefer to find us individually or have us all lined up at once? I know your time is valuable, sir." WWE's resident top guy Roman Reigns even got in on the action by tweeting, "You're the size of my leg, shut up." It wasn't just the active roster that got involved, as WWE legends also tweeted at McGregor. Kurt Angle would tweet, "Very funny little guy, why don't you get your head out of Dana White's ass?" McGregor would never respond to any of these tweets, and the issue never seemed to be resolved, as no apology from McGregor was ever issued. Number 2, Mr. T and Roddy Piper. Mr. T is most well known by WWE fans for being involved in the first WrestleMania, as well as having a boxing match with the legendary Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 2. However, what many fans don't realize is that there was a legitimate hatred between these two men. The issue between them surfaced when Piper and Cowboy Bob Orton had reservations in relation to involving Mr. T in the WrestleMania 1 main events. Those concerns were realized when Mr. T barely put any effort into the WrestleMania match, which resulted in Piper shooting on Mr. T during the match and locking him into a legitimate submission hold. This led to Mr. T complaining directly. Number 1, CM Punk and Chris Brown. The issue between CM Punk and Chris Brown began at the Grammy Awards in 2012. When Brown was on the show, Punk tweeted out that he would like to fight Brown. Brown would respond to this by stating that CM Punk didn't have many Twitter followers and that he was on steroids. Punk followed this up by stating, "I firmly believe that in life there are consequences and repercussions for people's actions, and I think Chris Brown hasn't paid for what he's done." Punk would then upload a video, and Punk would address Brown directly and state,
"And now that he's thrown accusations my way about using steroids, I feel the need to reply, so please allow me to retort. I'm a lifelong, proud, drug-free, straight-edge individual, so Chris and I come from two completely different worlds. I don't have a manager, I don't have a bodyguard, I don't need a bodyguard, I don't have an assistant, I have no need for a PR team to tell me what to tweet or when to delete tweets. And I don't hate women. See, period. You don't hate women. In my world, women are to be revered and respected. And I firmly believe that in this life, there are consequences and repercussions for people's actions. And I don't think Chris has paid for what he's done. And picking up trash on the side of a highway does not make amends for repeatedly striking a woman to her face and sending her to a hospital. So Chris wants to throw stones my way now, and I say, that's fine. but put some gloves on and get in the ring. And I will choke you out, and I will make you feel as weak and as powerless and scared and alone as any woman who has had the misfortune of knowing a sad, cowardly little boy such as yourself. And all proceeds can go to a women's shelter of my choosing, and I know that none of these things will happen because Chris Brown isn't a man. And that's fine. I just know that someday, somewhere, somehow, somebody will put Chris Brown exactly where he belongs, and it honestly doesn't have to be me. I would just really like it to be.
And unfortunately, we never got that boxing match that would have probably been epic. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Here are some other videos you should totally check out. Click them before it's too late. Anyways, peace.